Wait. What is happening? What are you guys doing? Oh, I see. El Diablo. Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream is an online co-op action game where you can team up with 19 other players to fight in co-op missions and boss battles, and thanks to Bandai I was able to join the closed beta test, and today I'm going to give you all my first impression of the new Sword Art Online game. But before we jump right into the action, give me 50 likes and 1000 views right now. Sword Art Online games are notoriously bad, they always are fun to play for the first 15 minutes, and that's when the developers usually decide to forget how to make a game. And because this is a beta test, the quests on average take about 15 to 30 minutes to finish, so it's still unclear whether this game is safe from the SEO curse, but for now, this is all we can work with. Of course, your playtime can get extended if you try every single character that's available, but most people will play Jesus Kun anyways. I specifically like how the combat works. You got a normal attack that you can combine with heavies, and if you wanna deal even more damage, then you have 3 other skills you can unlock while you level up on that certain mission, on top of which you will also get an ultimate attack. All of these attacks can of course be combined with your teammates. For example, one of Sinon's ability is a black hole that pulls everything around it, making it easier to combo with other characters such as Kirito or Leafa. That being said, as much as I like how the combat of SAO works, I do have to say it's really frustrating. I'm not entirely sure if there's a way to fix this, but if your attacks are slow and don't have a long reach, there's a very good chance you will be one step away from hitting the CPU, and this is again very frustrating. One of the reasons why I was mainly playing with Sinon or Argo, who's by the way the game original character this time around, is because they offered more freedom when it came to movement. Sinon can literally run while shooting, and Argo has quick attacks that can get interrupted easily to reposition yourself. I know that Leafa and Agil are not mainly centered around dealing damage, even though Leafa's ultimate attack is basically a pocket nuke, but Kirito, who's the fighter class, also felt annoying to control whenever the CPU made even the slightest move. This paired up with the fact that the lock-on system is janky, it made my games sometimes more frustrating than enjoyable. I sincerely hope the devs figure out a way to fix this issue, because if a game doesn't feel good to play, then most of the times they get abandoned. Luckily, however, this game already has crossplay implemented, which on the first day was garbage, but the second day it worked perfectly. There was even one time when I could play in a near full lobby and we have melted the whole mission. That being said, this only happened once to me. I mostly got into bot lobbies, which shouldn't be that much of a problem, but if you accidentally get downed because your bots don't actually perform their role they get assigned to with their character, like, I don't know, heal with Leafa, then they will never revive you. I do think this only happened because it was a closed beta test, however I feel like there wasn't nearly enough players to fill up the lobbies. I had 3 friends who played mostly at different time zones than me, and they all had the same issues. I played on a PlayStation 5 where the game ran smoothly, I had no FPS drops at all, but I heard that the PC version was not as fortunate, and on top of it, if you use more than one monitor, you had to sort of disable your secondary monitor, otherwise your mouse could get dragged out of the game even if you were in full screen mode. So far you might think that everything I said means that the new Sword Art Online game is bad, but that's not true. If anything, I would say, based on my 12 hours of playtime, I've had more fun than I have ever had in any other SAO game. The game has a perfect tutorial which will teach you on how to play the game, and you don't just get dropped in the middle of 20 players, you actually start with your small group which has to meet up later with everyone else. The game also gave you the freedom of how you wish to reach your final destination. For the most part you could skip a big chunk of the way if you left the road, but do be careful, if you choose to do this, you're gonna lose out on a lot of experience. Is there a loot goblin? Oh, it is! Let's go! Nice! I got a lot of stuff and I don't know what any of these do. As a handful tip, I also recommend you to increase the sensitivity of your camera, otherwise you'll take ages to turn to whatever destination you want to look at. There's also a raid boss mode where you start off on level 1 and you have to compete with other teams to reach the highest score for additional rewards, and every quest you get during the boss fight is good enough to the point where you will want to finish them, otherwise you'll get left behind. Just pray that you don't get a lobby filled up with bots. From what I can understand, the bots follow the actual player passively and only attack if the said player gets attacked, but if you're on your own in the team and you play with a ranged character, then good luck forcing your bots to do anything. The only time when they actually start to attack is if you got a second teammate and that player is fighting something at close range. Like one time I was still level 1 by the time I had to deal the highest amount of damage to Skull Reaper, which needless to say I couldn't do, only because I was on my own. But if I had a Kirito helping me, I probably could have still not achieved top damage, but skill issue, I guess. As someone who enjoys bad animes, I specifically like that Ilfang, the end boss of one of the stages, had exactly the same strategy as he had in the anime. He switched through his weapons just like in the anime, and he had different movesets. That being said, if anyone knows why I had to destroy these crystals, I would really appreciate it. Let me know down in the comments. The customization of your character felt decent enough as well, and I have seen other players who had additional items equipped on their characters, so that makes me to think that there are more customization options out there that I just didn't unlock. You can also earn currency during your playtime, but I couldn't really figure out how to use it. Based on the description, it's probably something that I will only be able to use in the central hub of the game, which was not yet available to me. If there's anything I would tell the developers to improve the game on, it would probably be the fact that the combat feels a little bit frustrating if you don't reach your opponent, maybe make it a little bit more lenient when it comes to getting locked into your combo, and please improve upon the CPU that assists you. I'm not asking for godlike teammates that can carry me to victory, I just wanna get revived and healed every once in a while. I sincerely hope the devs won't make the game easier than it already is. With a team full of actual players, everything gets melted. If anything, I would even ask them to maybe bump up the difficulty a little bit more. I'd even appreciate it if there was a way to get into some sort of training ground where you can practice on your own or with a teammate to find interesting synergies. That way I could even see the game having additional difficulties. Just slap the word heroic on top of whatever you're doing and make it twice as hard. Just make sure that the reward for finishing such a hard challenge is meaningful and not mandatory. Otherwise you can easily run into the problem where you won't get invited into groups because you don't have this certain passive ability that lets you finish the encounter 1 second earlier, which is locked behind me having the 360 no-scope hand-holding a girl. And again, as I have said, Sword Art Online games usually are fun for the first 15 to 20 minutes. I really hope this game can break the SAO curse, but only time will tell. And that's pretty much it. These were my first impressions of the Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream game. If you had the chance to play the beta, then please let me know down in the comment section what your experience was like, and while you're at it, why not subscribe to the channel? The other day I've uploaded a 20-minute video of me playing with Kirito without any sort of commentary. If you're curious how the main mission of Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream is like, then go ahead and click this video. That's gonna be it for today's video, guys. I hope you all have had a fantastic day, stay safe, until next time, boys. Peace!